Alright guys, welcome to the Prepper's Bunker outdoors. Let me get all situated here. I love it. It does have issues. It likes to just randomly stop recording, and my season 5 episode 2 commentary of Alone with Justin was ruined because of it. So I am going to redo that by myself. It's very disappointing to look when you're editing and just see random footage gone. That's a big bummer. So hopefully we'll get that figured out. But that's just super exciting, guys. Speaking of Patreon, I'll talk to you guys about the next step, but I'm thinking about checking up some Walmart knives. What's up, JD? So the other thing I want to talk to you about is something that I think you've never seen before. In Winchester, Kentucky, there's a firearms manufacturer named Doublestar. You might know them for their Ace AR stocks that are popular and other things. But they have gotten into making knives. This is their Pathseeker, designed by Hakeem Isler. And so far, I'm pretty excited about this knife. You may know that I'm not a big fan of the 1/4 inch thick, smaller survival knife genre, but I think that this one has a lot of details that make it superior. Blade's about 6.5 inches long as opposed to 5 inches, which is standard. It's thinner, and it has a bit of a forward cant. And I think this is going to be a really cool knife. Handles are great. The scales, I don't know if you can tell, but they are the perfect brightness. They're about burn out your retina bright. That's exactly what I look for on the brightness scale for my high-vis scales. They do just normal black as well. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but they have this really cool texture on them, and they're more comfortable than they look. They look really square, but they're not. This thing fits in the hand really nice. So, yeah, MSK1. If every person who bought an MSK1 for $500 could get one of these, I think their MSRP is about $200. I think street price is going to come in just below that. And this is 80 CRV2, by the way. So you have one of the toughest steels out there, comparable in toughness to 3V. You have a 1/4 inch thick blade, a fairly obtuse primary grind with a thick-ish edge. I don't think it's as thick as the MSK1. And it's a flat grind. You're talking about a knife that's just not going to break. It's just, how are you going to break it? It's so hard to break a knife in 1095 that's 3/16 of an inch thick with a full flat grind essentially and an 8.5 inch blade. How are you going to break a saber ground 6.5 inch blade in 80 CRV2? This thing is awesome. So anyways, I'm not going to get too deep into this. This is a project that's upcoming, but if you're on Instagram or Facebook or wherever else, make sure to check out Doublestar Blades. They're really cool. I also want to give a shout out. One of the pieces of footage that I lost from my Alone Season 5 Episode 2 commentary was a shout out to our buddy Josh Wolf, Red Beard Blades. He makes really cool knives, pretty much specifically out of CPM 3V. Great guy, just got out of the military, and I hope that he really starts to expand rapidly because he makes great stuff. I'm a fan. Hello, Jack. Good to have you, buddy. Folding knives. James Pablo says, I never talk about folding knives. It's true. I haven't carried a folding knife besides Victorinox in probably 2 years. In fact, I think I stopped carrying a folding knife when I got my SECR 2.5 and really haven't looked back. Might have even been before that. I can't really remember. But I have a problem with losing them, and that's the honest truth. And with fixed blades, I don't lose them because I have a sheath there. It goes out, it goes in. I don't know why it happens this way. It's super frustrating. But I also do have more faith in carrying a fixed blade. I'd like to talk about more folders, but to be honest, I just can't see myself spending the money on most of them to get them. Certainly not multiple to review. So I wouldn't mind reviewing them, and I wouldn't mind carrying them. I just don't got the cash right now. So maybe we can get into that. I have done some folding knife reviews, like the Ozark Trails famous $4 flipper. I've reviewed that quite a few times. Not that that's something that you guys are interested in, but it's not something that I'm morally opposed to. So today it was 97 degrees and I think over 80% humidity, and I was volunteering at the Low Hollow Trail Fest, and it was kind of brutal. I'm kind of exhausted. I apologize for doing a live video indoors. Outdoors, I always have difficulties with light, with internet connection, with sound. I don't want to do a fire right now because it's still like 3,000 degrees outside, so I wanted to do this inside, and I hope it's okay quality-wise. It's probably not maybe as entertaining or doesn't have the right feel to it, but I hope that, well, just let me know what you guys think about that. Todd Gibson, I just basically love Victorinox in general. And what I really want to do is, there's a company, Remade Knives, or a guy on Instagram who on Etsy sells micarta scales that clip onto your Victorinox knives. I finally got an orange set, but I gave them to my buddy Bushcraft to Survive, Noah. You guys should check him out. He does some good videos, and he's a really good kid. Just because he had one there, and I thought that they'd be cool for him, and I bought the scales before even getting the knife. So now I've got to get more scales and the knife. It's going to happen. I just don't know when. But Victorinox, I'd say for most situations I prefer them over a more American-style multi-tool pliers style. I just like the Victorinoxes a lot. And what an incredible value. Jack, I'm glad to hear it. I was actually going to bring one of those up, but I didn't. So my Beach and Tactical R&R pouches, which are currently a special edition collaboration with Dragonfire Tinderbox, are in stock. Thank the Lord. It took quite a while. So far, I'm very happy with them. Jack, let me know as you get using them and stuff what you think. The Dragonfire Tinderbox tinder tin that comes with it has char cloth, fat wood, and all manner of natural goodness on the inside, and I love them. I'm going to use mine more. I'll have to do a video on it. I also, for my patrons, am going to do a video on kind of explaining how I got the Beach and Tactical Speed Sling as smooth as I did, and kind of how to make that work ideally. And I'll try and do some slow-mo shots and stuff like that for you guys as well. Let's see. Oh, Beach and Tactical patches are live on the website. They are basically, when you look at patches and you look at all of the options that you can get, this is what a patch looks like when you check all the blocks. These are just a super premium patch. 3D PVC, just beautiful. I really love how these came out. I think they're great. Part of the problem with me running a business is I love what I do, and when my products come out right, I love them. I think that they're great, and I realize that some other people don't. But I do it because I believe in it and I love it, and I do think it's great. So that's why I do it, and that's my motivation. Let's see. There's something specific that I wanted to hit on. Can I put a hat on without this looking like crap? Okay, so one thing that I want to do, I started a second YouTube channel called Jake's Two Wheel Adventures. And I want to keep most of that off of this channel, but long story short, I have a dirt jumper bike. It's a single speed, and I volunteered at this today. I think that bicycling or finding something that you can do for your cardiovascular health, is very important. And I think I found a company that makes mountain bikes in Wisconsin, in America, at a price that's competitive with all of the imported stuff. It's Wyatt Bicycles, and they finance them, because I can't afford to buy a bicycle right now, even though financing makes me sick to my stomach. But I'm not going to do this right now. Anyways, what I'm saying is, I'm thinking about getting one of those at some point when I'm in a better situation, and would me having kind of prepper bicycle oriented content turn you guys off from the channel? I understand if you wouldn't watch it, but is it something that would irritate you about my channel, so that I should keep absolutely all of it on the other channel, or would a video every once in a while that pops up be acceptable to you guys? I'd like to know about that. The other thing I want to show you guys, you guys know that I have the Council Tool Saddle Axe. I've got some really big stuff coming up from this, for this. First things first, I did try to ebonize it. It's going to be hard to tell. It didn't work really well, so instead of making it really dark like I wanted, it's just a little bit grayer. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to color fill the Council Tool and USA logos. The handle's going to be bright orange, and then I'm going to rub this down with some boiled linseed oil that will make it a little bit darker, and this thing's going to be absolutely beautiful. This is kind of my my little heartthrob right now, axe. It's profiled differently on both bevels. One's thicker and one's thinner, so you can use them for different chores. And I think it is well, it's part of a Nessmuck trio for a reason. It's an incredibly versatile way to incorporate another tool into your kit without any extra weight. So I think this might be one of my go-tos this winter. I think it's going to be, because I love this thing. I haven't given it as much airtime as it deserves. Same with the belt axe. It's gonna come for sure, because they're just phenomenal tools. But during the summer, it's harder for me to carry an axe around. Let's see here. Yeah, exactly, Nessmuck style. Appreciate it, James. So one of the things that I struggle with is, this is a prepper channel. And that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Any category has a lot of confusion and mix up and this and that and the other. But I tend to do content that is weighted heavily towards knife reviews and axes and camping and kind of bushcrafty stuff. But I don't fit within the bushcraft genre even when I do that with my Instagram or anything else, which is okay. And I don't really fit in the survival genre, and I don't fit in the tactical genre. But what I hope to do with this channel, or the homestead genre, what I hope to do with this channel as a prepper is to bring these things together. I know that there will be a focus on reviewing and finding quality tools, because that's something that's naturally important to me, and it's going to come out in anything that I do. But as a prepper, I want the vibe that comes off of this channel to be homestead, survival, bushcraft, tactical, all of these things, and I really don't fit in any one of these categories, and I hope that's the vibe that comes off this channel. But it's a hard thing to do, and I feel like to be successful, you have to not only try to fit into one of these genres, but also adhere to the rules of each of these genres. And some of you may know, I got myself into trouble with that, on Bushcraft USA, the forum, because I posted my video, "What is a survival knife?" with Justin Vidito, and a couple of people who happen to be, they worship the earth their prophet is Tom Brown, and their symbol that they worship is the tracker. And to mention a knife that wasn't a tracker was just too much for them. They just couldn't handle it. And you know, but so to fit in, you've got to adhere to their little norms, and I don't do that in any genre. So that's something that you'll have to take or leave, I guess. Kevin, Kevin asks, I have my grandfather's axe head that has a lot of rust. Would white vinegar be okay to use on it? Some people would say yes, some people would say no. I believe if you leave it in vinegar too long, you can mess stuff up. But what I prefer instead is you can get a brass wire wheel for your drill or whatever, and you can just hit that and hit all of the rust off of it. And I think that that can retain some of the authenticity of the axe head a little bit better. It's a lot quicker, and it might be easier. I'm sure either method works. I just look into it. If you're not worried at all about resale value or anything like that, I mean, just do what's best for you. For me, it's the wire wheel. It's like, it takes, you know, like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm ready to go into sharpening. So that's what I prefer. As far as would it be okay, I guess I don't really know. But I do know that a lot of axe people complain about it ruining axe heads. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe they take off too much material. Doesn't leave the authentic patina. That's probably why. Which the wire wheel can leave that. So. Yeah, so first off, as far as videos, when I do these videos at the beginning, I don't advertise my videos. Blue Mountain Bushcraft and Outdoors said, that's interesting, I've posted quite a few videos over at Bushcraft USA without ever having an issue. So here's the deal. I don't monetize my videos. And I believe that instead of making you watch some beer commercial or who knows what else commercial, you can just listen to me say, hey, I run a business. And I have a Patreon page. So instead of you watching an advertiser for somebody that you already see every day who really doesn't need your advertisement, you can see that I make stuff. Well, they had a problem with that. And then what happened was about 3 years ago in one of my videos, I said something anti-tracker. I don't like trackers. But there are some trackers that are better than others. Specifically, I don't like the Tops tracker at all. And that got this dude's little rump so twisted up that 3 years later he automatically started attacking me in this thread. But he's of course being passive aggressive. So like, I'm going to be a complete D-bag, but kind of act like I'm not and maybe put a little positive in there. Anyways, I was like completely positive, but this dude has like this following, and they just all got into this little crap storm. And I would say I was much more level-headed than usual throughout this whole thing, fairly cordial, and they could just not handle it. For instance, in the What is a Survival Knife with Justin Vitito, I said survival's not bushcraft, and guess what? It's not. Bushcraft is not survival, but it is a skill set that could aid you in survival. But this person said, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially, quote, he says that bushcraft isn't survival and talked about basket weaving, equating it to building shelters. We never equated basket weaving to building shelters. We didn't do anything even close to that. In fact, we said that building shelters is an important part of survival, but the dude is so against me already and so biased that they're just willing to make up anything to start a fight or try and put me down over there because they've got this whole piranha thing going on. And so it made me realize it didn't really matter what I said in the video or anything else, since I had offended their leader's rump, that was that. So what I said in the video, what I said in response to them, how kind I was, how rude I was, none of that mattered. So, but the thing is, Bushcraft USA sucks because they're so strict on who posts what there, and they say it's because that makes it fair to our vendors because only our vendors can advertise, and yet they're ramming their own ways to make money down your throat in like the first 25 pinned posts, constantly begging for money. All it is so that they can make more cash. They're just douchebags. So Bushcraft USA, douchebags. Anyways, that's that. William Russell says vinegar definitely works. Also gives a wicked patina. Keeps knives from rusting pretty well. For me, the patina that I have gotten from vinegar has never held up to use and abuse. I don't know why, but that's just for me. It's never worked well. It'll hold up through some light use, but you start batoning and really doing feather sticking and planing and stuff, and it would start to wear really bad. My favorite patina that I found that lasts the best is just using the knife on food, and then just general use. In fact, some of my knives being stripped in high carbon will get a very fine layer of surface rust. When I take that surface rust off, it leaves a patina. It's just the strongest dang finish you could ever have. And it resists rust really well, oddly enough. So as far as patinas, that's why I got on that. I should do a video on that because I've got some ancient forced patina videos. So I think that's a topic that I should get back into. Yeah, Jack. Jack said you can't go wrong with an Essie. They take a beating, and he mentioned the trackers. Man, Essie knives. I think there was a time where I wasn't a big Essie fan before I owned one. It's not that I didn't like them, and I want to be very clear about that. It's that I didn't know that if they were really better than Becker's. I didn't really think that they were, and they were more expensive. Now that then I bought the Essie CR 2.5 like as soon as it came out, and I've been an Essie fan ever since. It did not take much for them to win me over, and I see their value that I did not see before, which is why I spend so much time talking about Essie now, because I wish I could have told myself earlier. I would have wasted a lot less money, and ultimately this channel probably would have ended up looking a lot different, but it is what it is. Now I'm on board. So before I was like, I don't know, it seems a little bit expensive. Now they seem cheap as crap for what they offer, and they're phenomenal. So yes, the potato patina. Yes, potatoes patina wonderfully. So I found that the best patinas that I've gotten, I'll cut through potatoes, tomatoes, red meat. Gets a beautiful rainbow blue patina that's very tough. And in fruit, strawberries especially, seems to be just what works great for me. Michael Froelich, I'm sorry if I killed your name. I know the name Froelich. It means early, right? Asks, how do you feel about Bark River knives, and have you reviewed any? I think that Bark River knives are high quality knives with a great warranty. I don't believe I've reviewed any. I think that they offer lots of wonderful handle choices, but if you want a user, I think you should make sure to get one of their G10 or micarta handle choices, because if you get their fancy handles and use it hard, they'll break. It's not their fault. It's the nature of the beast, and they will replace it and stand behind it. And I'm going to kind of leave it at that. I think that they're good tools, and people really like them. I've had a couple minor issues, but nothing worth mentioning, and nothing that wasn't handled. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Rick, I believe I did, actually. I believe I did review the JX6 Companion. That was given away on my channel. We used it on Operation Survival. I will say that that knife was much smaller than I would choose for a survival knife. We were hard pressed, but the knife held up great. The quality was great. We beat on it, and it held up. So it wasn't the knife's fault that it wasn't what I would choose for that situation. It was just the fact that it was so small, and it wasn't the ideal knife for the situation. With that being said, it was far better than no knife, which is the trade-off that you get when you carry small knives. So yeah, it was a neat deal. What's up, Jeremiah Shine? Glad to have you, buddy. So I'll recap real quick. We have patches. I love the Council Tool Saddle Axe. I'm going to be modifying it pretty soon and using it a lot this winter. Hakeem Isler from Naked and Afraid designed this knife that's being manufactured by Doublestar out of 1/4 inch thick 80 CRV2. That's just a wonderful couple of words to put together in one sentence. And I have a GoPro 6, and it likes to stop recording randomly without telling me, and I don't find out until it's too late. So videos can be ruined, but the quality is great, so I've got to figure that out. Yep, kids are in the splash pool, my feet are up. That's the way to go. I tell you what, so I was out, like I told them, on this mountain bike. I was volunteering. I was outside all day today. It's 97 degrees, like 80% humidity, and I was dreaming of just like an ice bath. I would have loved to have found a pool, so that's nice. So let's see. Do you guys have any questions for me tonight? Anything that I should specifically look at or look into? Has Doublestar listed the blade? I don't believe so, actually. They might be on the website, but I believe that it's going to be about a week before these things hit the market. So you've got lashing points before and fore and aft of the handle here. You've got all kinds of lashing stuff all over the place. Man, this high-vis is just great. That's just great stuff. So it comes with the Kydex sheath, and I believe it comes with this tech lock. But yes, I'll have more details on this next week. Bushcraft to Survive asked what multi-tool this is. This is probably my favorite pliers type multi-tool. I reviewed it a long time on the channel. It's the Leatherman skeletal, and I replaced the blade with a skeletal CX blade, which is 154 cm and straight, not serrated. I wish that they actually did the straight edge in 420HC, which they do the cheaper knife in with the serrades, but with a straight edge, because I would actually prefer the 420HC, as crazy as that sounds to knife people. But I really do like this, and I think I'm probably going to keep it in my Hidden Woodsman Survival Kit pouch, because my biggest thing with multi-tools is they're just too doggone big. And yeah, I found this one, by the way, setting up Operation Survival, which is cool. It's a freebie. It's made in America, Gerber and stainless, but it's just big and bulky. And the pliers are awfully nice, but the Victorinox to me just seems to be more streamlined, and they're cheaper. And I feel like the quality is higher than most multi-tools, although I think that the quality is extremely high on the skeletal. I think I've heard of people breaking it. Maybe, did you break it? I don't know. Oh, Jack. Okay, so the butt tarp, yes. So I thought the butt tarp was already up, but as it turns out, the owner was waiting for us to get some videos up. So I need to contact them and find out exactly when that's going to go live. I did get an MSRP on it, and if memory serves, it's $75 with snaps, $65 with grommets. I don't know for sure now that I'm on the spot. But I'm going to do another video of that soon. I need to contact the owner and find out exactly when that's going to be released. But I'm excited about it because, one of my friends, before I talk too much, one of my friends mentioned he didn't think that it was necessarily a survival go-tool asset. I agree, it's not. The Bushcraft utility tiny tarp is a Bushcraft thing. It's something that I take out into my backyard when I'm playing with knives, doing videos. I'll probably take it hunting, a few other things. But if I was going on a survival trip, I would certainly take a larger tarp. So to me, that tarp is a convenience item, but I am a big fan. So that should be in the next few weeks. I'll try and get that, maybe hopefully an exact date locked down for you guys. All right. I'm hungry. So if you have any questions, make sure to ask them real quick. I don't know if you guys consider kits, but if you have a rifle and you consider it to be a potential tool for an emergency, you need to have a way to carry ammo and medical equipment, guys. And a lot of people don't. This is a Gadsden Dynamics war belt. I love it, super lightweight, and I leave it hanging on the doorknob in my bedroom so I can grab it real quick if I need to. 60 rounds of .308 and a medical kit, and when I put it on my waist, I don't even feel it. If you saw my 4th of July video, I was doing squats with it. I did feel it when I was doing squats with it. Actually, I will say the squats with the rifle on my back and the kit was a whole different deal, and no squat rack. It's a very different dynamic to the exercise, which I'm planning on doing more. I'm going to set up a whole course out here. But anyways, it's a good way to go. The Wilderness Innovations poncho, Jack. No, I did not. I can't wait. But I think it says up to 6 to 8 weeks to be made. I did order it in a fancy ATAX AU camo pattern. So I have not emailed them. I don't want to rush them. I don't want to be rude. It says it can take them a little while. So right now I'm just waiting on that. So Blue Mountain Bushcraft and Outdoors says, I tried to pry a stuck cartridge case out of a jammed AR-15 with the blade of my skeletal. Screwdriver didn't work or wouldn't reach. Note to self, don't do that and press on the liner lock unless you like stitches. So imagine if you're sitting there prying with this, the liner lock is right here. You depress that, and apparently you had a bad day. That sounds terrible. That is a bummer. Yeah, I don't really see the skeletal as a super hard use tool, and that in particular is a pretty crappy situation to be in. I once, doing simunition training, I believe it was some basic training, had a simunition case get jammed in the barrel so bad that they stuck a cleaning rod up the barrel and were literally picking it up, the drill sergeant picking it up over the head, smashing it down on a rock to try and get it out. Not that that's relevant to anything we're really talking about, but that was a bad time for that poor upper and barrel. So he said it was more embarrassing since he was in front of a class full of students. Here's how this goes. When you are teaching a class, everything will go wrong. So you can have your whole fire layout, everything set up, and you think, I'll skip a couple little steps, show them this real quick, get it out of the way, because this is just kind of a side point, and it won't work, and you look like an idiot in front of everybody. I'm telling you, it's just the way things happen. If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong, first off, when you're filming, and then, more importantly, when you're in front of people actually teaching something that you know how to do very well. But it goes... that's what they say, or what they say in the military is you don't know something until you teach it. So it's the best way to learn. So let's see here, guys. Are there any more questions before I wrap up, or anything anybody wants me to talk about? I do have some tests planned coming up north. How are you doing, bud? My upcoming plans include some Mora death. I love Moras, guys. But I am actually interested to see at what point a Mora breaks. I don't know. I don't use them enough. I bet you Blue Mountain Bushcraft probably does. No, but I'm going to find out, and hopefully you guys will find out with me. And a Hogue FO2. I really need to get on ruining that knife's life. The manufacturer actually asked me to break it a long time ago, actually. So break it I will. And we'll see how Hogue, their heat treat of 154 cm is, and we'll see how tough that knife is. I think it's going to be very tough. I like that knife a lot. So, yeah, I think that's, I don't know if that'll happen this week. Basically, I'm dealing with a bit of a skin condition from Afghanistan right now, and the VA is trying their hardest not to fix it. And I'd like it to get fixed. And it makes my life outdoors in the middle of the summer really difficult. And it's really a bummer. And I think about the next 2 months are going to be really hard for me outside, which will affect my YouTube, but I'm going to try and get as much done as I can anyways, because when I try and force myself to stay inside, I lose my mind. Everything that I want to do is outside. So I do it. But so I don't know. We'll see how that all goes. But if there's nothing else, guys, I think I will sign out. Anything last minute here? Todd Gibson says dealing with the VA will make you lose your mind. Yeah. Or the military in general. You know what's so funny is, kind of funny, but we talk about veteran suicide, which is a real problem so much, and the Army talks about how much they care, and then they make you do all kinds of classes and other crap that just makes people want to commit suicide. It's like we've got a real problem with the Army, but instead of fixing the toxic leadership from bottom to top, the corrupt and useless curriculum, the politics, and the worthless training, let's have a class about suicide. Just foolishness. And the VA is the same way, but anyways. Okay. Bushcraft to survive, AR or AK and why? I could talk for a long time about this. I used to say AK like that because the Colt ARs that we were all issued were garbage. Out of an entire platoon, probably 1 or 2 of them would run properly. And not just because they were old, because not all of them were old. But, so I would have said AK like that, which is why I owned an AK. Now I'm a little bit in between. You can get a good AR and take care of it, and that sucker will run so good. And you can get an AK that will jam and blow up in your face. So it's not as clear cut, I think, anymore. I'd probably say I would go with an AR because it's more optics friendly, it's more user friendly, but you've got to clean it, you've got to know how to clean it, and you know, I do think it's easier to work with. But if people in your family already have an AK or an AR, you might want to consider matching their platform so everybody in your family is using the same magazines and ammo. Everything's a trade-off, so I can't give you for sure one way or the other. I would probably go AR if I didn't have to consider anything else, though. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up before this gets too boring. Rick Corbett said Demolition Ranch did a YouTube video on that. on that question a week or two to go. So Bushcraft to Survive, that might be something to check out. Demolition Ranch, AK versus AR. Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope that you have a blessed day.